I met some friends from college. They've asked us over. Do you want to come?
I don't think so.
Oh, sport.
Look, why don't you go over? I honestly don't feel up to it.
John? John, what's wrong?
Look, nothing's wrong, I promise. I've got behind with my work and I need to think about it, that's all.
You sure?
Positive. Look, why don't you go back to your friends and have a good time, eh? I'll give you a call in the morning.
Good evening, Mr. Brewster. Can we interest you in a hand?
No, thank you. I never gamble. And neither should you by the look of that lot.
Hello, Dr. Brewster again. You sure my husband's not at the clinic? He couldn't have come back? Forgotten something? No. No, it's just that he's not arrived yet. Thank you.
Mr. Mathew Brewster, who was found dead in his garage with the car engine running.
This could take us half the night. I've been on the go since 8 o'clock this morning.
So have I, Sergeant.
Yeah, but I haven't spent the last 2 weeks lying on a beach in Italy, have I?
I spent my holiday engaged in cultural pursuits, Lewis, not lying on a beach.
So,
Seems peaceful enough to me.
That's how he was when we found him, Sarge.
There was nothing unusual caught your eye when you came in?
No, nothing at all.
could you tell me what happened this evening?
Mathew was due home at about 8:40. That was his usual time.
Due home from where?
His clinic. My mother and father own a private clinic, Chief Inspector.
He usually left around 8 and was seldom late. When he wasn't home by 9, I began to worry. I had thought of calling the police, but I didn't want to make a fuss or appear foolish. I told myself he'd broken down somewhere. I looked out of the window several times, hoping to see Mathew get out of the car. The last time I looked, I saw John arrive, and we discovered what had happened.
What time was that?
Around 11, I think. When I arrived, I heard the engine running. Then I saw the fumes. I tried to open the garage door. When I did, I couldn't see anything. I tried to find the light switch, but I began to feel the effect of the fumes.
So that's everything completed here, right?
That about does it, sir.
Thank you, Lewis.
Something wrong?
Probably not. Something that Dr. Brewster said. She said she looked from the house, hoping to see her husband get out of the car, but he'd get out of the car in the garage, wouldn't he? The doors open automatically on approach. You can't even see the garage from that room.
Just a slip of the tongue, sir.
Yes.
You can clear it up in the morning.
But why do it this way, Lewis? Drive home, I mean. They own a clinic. He was surrounded by any number of drugs or poisons he could have used.
I guess when you get to the point of killing yourself, you're not thinking too clearly, sir.
But you think it was suicide?
No reason to suspect anything else.
It was murder, Morse, certainly murder, although there was a pretty duff attempt to make it look like suicide. Do you mind explaining, Doctor? Well, it's all a matter of deduction, really. See here, look. These marks across the chest and around the wrist. He was tied into the seat. Now, if he was tied in, he was conscious and may have felt compelled to cry out. So, I have a look around the mouth. And what do I find? Traces of adhesive and minute injuries where the facial hair has been torn out. He was bound and gagged, Morse. He was murdered.
Time and cause of death?
Asphyxiation, 9:30 approx.
We know he left the clinic shortly after 8. Would you agree that there wasn't time enough to have him killed elsewhere?
Yes, I would.
The killer was taking quite a risk there, wasn't he? Staying in there until the job was done. Unless he came out and went back in again later. But then he'd have to get back in, close the garage doors behind him, make sure that Brewster was dead, take off the gag, untie the ropes, and then find his way back out at the doors again.
Brewster's son was driven out by the fumes.
I've already thought of that.
And what have you deduced?
Well, either you're looking for someone with an exceptional pair of lungs, a Japanese pearl diver, say, or your killer was a common garden Englishman, using breathing apparatus, perhaps.
Morning, Mark.
What is going on, Chief
Could we
Inspector?
talk inside, Dr. Brewster?
Tell us what's going on, please.
I'm sorry, you are?
Mark Felsham. I'm from the Radcliffe Infirmary. Claire is my patient.
It would be better if we talked inside, Mr. Felsham.
You've surely made a mistake, Chief Inspector. My husband's death must have been an accident.
I can assure you, Dr. Brewster, it wasn't an accident. Can you think of anyone who might want to harm your husband?
No. Of course I can't. Who would want to harm Mathew? The idea is quite preposterous. Do sit down.
Someone did. I I'd like you to think very carefully. Did your husband mention any recent conversation he might have had, any incident or event that he considered out of the ordinary?
No. No. Was that break-in that you mentioned, Claire? At the clinic?
When was that?
7, 8 months ago, I don't remember. There was nothing taken. The police thought it likely that the intruder was after drugs. We heard no more about it.
Dr. Brewster, last night you said you went to the window expecting to see your husband getting out of the car. How could you expect to see him if he was in the garage?
What? Oh. Sometimes he parked in the drive, Chief Inspector, especially if John was still out. Mathew, he very often left early for the clinic in the morning.
Inspector? Of course. Claire, I want you to go upstairs and rest.
Excuse me.
Why is it, Chief Inspector, that doctors make such bad patients? If I had my way, I'd prefer her in hospital for a day or two, but you won't hear of it.
Is her condition so serious?
Proper medical care and attention, she has 3, maybe 4 years at best. And she could well do without this kind of trauma. And that damn clinic. It became an obsession with both of them.
Is the clinic in trouble?
On the contrary, it's thriving. But at the beginning, they invested everything they had. Borrowed heavily. But they made it work.
Where's Mother? Is she all right?
She's all right, John. She's upstairs. She's fine.
Will you excuse me?
We got something here.
What's that?
More tape by the look of it.
When I asked him about last night, he told me he'd spent some time with a girlfriend, a Jane Thaw, English student up at the university. Anyway, that was around about 7 o'clock. Afterwards, he says he went for a drive and then came home.
Well, that's 4 hours. What was he doing?
Thinking, he says. But he is doing a doctorate in philosophy. All the other things, the diving equipment, sir. He doesn't use it. Doesn't know anyone who does.
We're about finished, sir. Pretty meagre findings, I'm afraid.
Where did this come from?
Down in the car inspection pit. We did find 2 rolls of tape in the toolkit, but neither of them comes from this. It's much broader. All right, get it off to forensic, and thank you. Right, sir.
I'll see you later, okay?
Chief Inspector Morse?
Yes. Miss Foley?
Yes. Shall we walk?
Yes, I'd like that.
I'm at a loss to know how I can help. I've never met John's father, or his mother for that matter.
How long have you been seeing John?
2 years.
And you've never met his family?
According to John, I'd simply be something else for his father to disapprove of. They didn't get on, I'm afraid. John had been expected to follow his father and mother into medicine. When he refused, his father turned against him.
Last night, how did John seem to you?
Ooh, down, I'd say.
Do you know why?
Well, he said he'd fallen behind with his work and wanted some time on his own. Your questions, Chief Inspector, I can't quite see their relevance.
Oh, they're just routine in cases of murder.
But when John phoned last night, he seemed to think it was an accident. Or suicide.
No. No, John's father was murdered.
Chief Inspector, what I said about John and his father, you mustn't infer...
As I said, my questions are purely routine.
You're on to a winner here, Sergeant. Do you want to have a look?
Just tell me what I see.
Hair. the tape that was brought in, and probably from the dead man's face, I'd say. I'm pretty confident that it was used as a gag.
That was a nice cup of tea. Not too sweet.
I've had a chance to think about all this, Mother. And I'm going to tell the police about Michael Steppings.
Steppings? Why? Tell them what?
That he made threats against Father in court.
But that was 2 years ago. Steppings was upset.
There were letters. They were sent to Father.
What letters?
Anonymous threats. Abuse. Father thought it best you didn't know.
But Steppings, John. I mean, we'll be opening up that entire episode. Think what could come out of it.
I should have mentioned these sooner, I know, but well, with everything that's happened, I wasn't thinking, Chief Inspector.
Your mother didn't mention them either.
She didn't know about them. My father didn't want to distress her. As for himself, he didn't take them seriously.
Then why did he keep them?
He didn't. Well, not all of them. The first few he destroyed, but after that, I'm sure he was going to take them to the police.
But you didn't preserve the envelopes.
They were typed, posted from various places in London. Besides, we were pretty certain who was sending them, so... We thought they were from a man called Michael Steppings. You see, 4 years ago, his 15-year-old daughter came into the clinic for a minor operation, but something went wrong. She suffered profound brain damage. Steppings took my parents to court 2 years later, but needless to say, they were completely cleared. But Steppings couldn't accept the court's decision, so he made threats.
Who is this Michael Steppings?
He's a bookmaker.
The Michael Steppings?
Yes.
Started off with one betting shop down in London, so finished up with a regular empire.
He should be an easy man to find.
He lives in Oxfordshire. Whereabouts, I'm not exactly sure.
I'd like to talk about Michael Steppings.
You've spoken to him?
Not yet. My sergeant's trying to locate him. Can you tell me about his daughter?
Tell you what?
What happened to her?
She went into cardiac arrest. The court found the clinic blameless, Chief Inspector. I need hardly say it was a tragedy, but we were completely cleared.
Dr. Brewster, I am not questioning the court's judgment. Your son came forward with the name of a possible suspect. There are questions that have to be asked.
Yes, well... You think it might have been Steppings?
Do you?
Well, I wouldn't know, would I? He struck me as being a highly intelligent man. To threaten us in open court and then send anonymous letters, it seems a particularly reckless strategy for a killer to adopt.
You said threatened us, not just your husband?
Mathew was the surgeon, I was the anaesthetist, and there was a nurse, Wendy Hazlitt. As I recall, he threatened all three of us.
You're not sure?
You will appreciate, Chief Inspector, that trial was an experience I've tried very hard to forget. But why was it important who he threatened?
You were in the house alone. If he did kill your husband, then why not you? The nurse, is she still here?
No, she left soon after the trial 2 years ago. She's at Burnley Green Hospital now. We don't keep in touch.
Found him, sir. A bit more difficult than we thought, though.
A man with an empire, Lewis?
Yeah, well, turns out he sold his business, sir. Living the life of a recluse. out near Chipping Norton. Oh, and I checked out the report on the break-in at the clinic here. Nothing really. Some damage to a couple of filing cabinets.
I want to see a transcript of the Brewster trial.
No bother, as long as somebody else has asked for a copy already. If not, the notes will still be in shorthand. Could take weeks. Why do we need one?
I want to know who Steppings threatened and what he said, not what people think he might have said.
Would you believe it? 120 grand, I won't even budge.
It's a beautiful car.
Likewise. Michael Steppings. Who are you? What brings you to this neck of the woods?
I'm Chief Inspector Morse, Thames Valley CID. I'm investigating the murder of Mathew Brewster, Mr. Steppings.
Yes, I read about it. Well, I'd be a hypocrite if I said I was sorry, Mr. Morse, so I won't. My suspect?
Yes.
Thought I might be. Come on inside, Chief Inspector. I've got an angry call to make. Patrick. Mike Steppings. Listen, why don't you get some lads over here and pick up my car? It's not working. That's what for. Right? Okay, I'll shove the keys in the exhaust and call me. Let me know what the hell's going on.
It's a fine view.
Can't say I notice it much.
Mr. Steppings, don't you have a wardrobe?
Yeah, somewhere. I tend to do most of my living in here now, Mr. Morse. When things get too bad, I bung the whole lot off to the cleaners. Now, Brewster.
Have you ever contacted him?
After what he did? No, why should I?
The court found him not guilty.
With respect, Mr. Morse, the court was wrong. They were removing a mole. A simple operation. Just about impossible for anything to go wrong.
But it is possible.
Yeah, that's what the judge said. There's always an element of risk, and I should understand that. An allusion to my former profession, I think.
Where were you the night Brewster was murdered?
That was Tuesday, wasn't it? I was at Newmarket in the afternoon. I had a meal over there. Left about 6. I went to visit my daughter at Burnley Green Hospital.
She's at Burnley Green?
Yeah, why?
Go on.
I left at 7:30, made for home.
You came straight home?
No, I stopped at a pub to go to the loo. That would have been about 8. I had a shandy, go on the Bandit, read the paper, even managed to do the whole crossword, and left about 9.
Would anyone remember you there? Did you speak to anyone?
I doubt it. The only person I spoke to was the barmaid who served me. Oh, yeah. There was a lady who came in and asked me to move my jacket so she could sit down.
And that was all?
She said something about how busy the place was. That was it.
This pub, have you been there before?
No. It's called Black Swan on the road north.
I know.
Well, will you be checking my story at the hospital?
Oh, yes.
Any chance of a lift?
Your business. Why did you give it up?
There didn't seem any point to it. When I started out, it was to get the best for me and mine. Only now, there ain't any mine. Except Avril.
You're not married?
Divorced. My wife, Julie, she felt as bad about Avril as I did, but she thought it was wrong to dwell upon it. But I did dwell on it, Mr. Morse, so she left us. As for myself, I've already got more money than I need, so why go on?
Make it sound easy, making money.
It was. How I made it. Gambling. I liked it. I was good at it.
I don't think I could live with the uncertainty.
The person you want to see is Dr. Greer. He's in charge. Do drop by and see us before you go. Now, where were we? Page 40, I think. Oh, yeah, here we are. Page 40. Chapter 7. Ginger continues the story.
You can confirm that he was here, Doctor? Oh, yes, Chief Inspector. I was on duty. He often visits at night, sometimes in the early hours of the morning. He's absolutely devoted to the girl.
What kind of man is he?
In my opinion, someone who's given up on life. Nothing seems to matter except the girl. Even his wife left him, you know. Can't say I blame her. She could see it was hopeless and wanted to put an end to it, but he wouldn't hear of it.
I take it the girl will never recover.
No, never, Chief Inspector.
My old Merrylegs will take as much care of them as you or I could. Doctor, Mr. Morse. Avril, this is the policeman I was talking about. Chief Inspector Morse. This is my girl, Avril, Chief Inspector. You'll have to excuse her not getting up. But after her run-in with the Brewsters, there's not much she can do.
I'm very sorry, Mr. Steppings.
Did you help out, Mr. Morse, Doctor?
Indeed I have.
I'm intruding here. You want to be alone with your daughter. Dr. Greer?
Right. I assure you I would not sell that pony for any money. He's so perfectly good-tempered and trustworthy.
Yeah.
Want something to eat?
No. Coffee will be fine.
You look tired. Has it been awful?
Yes. What do you expect?
John, listen. I think I may have said too much to that policeman, Morse.
What do you mean?
silly. I mentioned to him that you and your father weren't on the best of terms. I wasn't aware of what had happened at the time.
He told the truth. Besides, I don't think Morse's interest in me will last for very long.
Do we have a transcript?
Yeah. There was a request for one from Michael Steppings. Did you see him yesterday?
Yes. He has a motive, a shaky alibi, and he knows how to use diving equipment.
Sounds promising.
I hope to God it's not Lewis.
Afraid there's nothing much to tell. No unidentified fingerprints, and the lettering came from half a dozen different newspapers. However, I put it on this machine here and this cropped up. Obviously written on a sheet above the one used for the letter.
Just numbers. Could mean anything.
Any idea what they might be?
Sorry. I did say there was nothing much.
Can I have a copy of it?
I'm not a lawyer, sir. But it seems to me the Brewsters couldn't lose that case. It was a routine minor operation that they carried out 3 or 4 times before. The barrister was able to give the court names, dates, even testimonies from grateful patients.
And Steppings?
Oh, there's no doubt. He did threaten all 3, sir. Yeah. I want justice for my little girl. If I don't get it here, I'll get it some other way. I'll make the 3 of them pay.
Then why wasn't Dr. Brewster harmed? And the nurse, Hazlitt. For a year, she's worked at the hospital where Steppings has his daughter. They're both of them much easier targets. Wendy Hazlitt?
Yes.
Chief Inspector Morse, Thames Valley CID.
Oh, hold on.
If you'd like to come through here, Chief Inspector. Half an hour later and you would have missed me.
You're going away?
Yes, just for a couple of days. To the Lake District.
You're very fortunate.
Well, yes. Well, I'm an amateur painter. I expect to be working mostly. How can I help you, Chief Inspector?
I'm investigating the murder of Mathew Brewster, Miss Hazlitt.
Ah.
I'd like to talk to you about Michael Steppings.
Well, I don't actually know Michael Steppings, Chief Inspector.
No, I appreciate that, but he did make threats against you at the Brewster trial. I wondered if he approached you or made any attempt to carry out his threats.
No, at least not in the way you mean. When I left Mr. Brewster's clinic, I tried to support myself by painting alone. Now, unfortunately, that didn't work out, and I had to look for a job. I was taken on at Burnley Green. When Michael Steppings found out, he tried to have me sacked. He does pay the hospital a great deal of money for keeping his daughter there, and I expected that he'd get his way. But fortunately, Dr. Greer, one of the consultants there, came up with a compromise. He agreed to let me stay on, provided I undertook not to go near Averell Steppings.
Mathew Brewster was sent a series of anonymous letters after the trial. Did you receive anything like that?
No, no. Do you think that Michael Steppings sent those letters?
Unfortunately, we don't know who sent them.
Well, I'm sorry I couldn't have been more help.
No, not at all. I'd better let you get on. I can see myself out.
Bye-bye.
Think, damn you. One sheet of paper, blue, 8 by 5, 2 rows of numbers. To the left, 10, 50, 7. To the right, 25.
Good morning, sir. Constable Willis, Crime Prevention Unit. Are you the owner of the house?
That's right.
There have been a number of burglaries in the area, sir, mainly in property like this. Would you mind if I checked your security and possibly offered some advice?
Of course not. Come on in.
Thank you.
Can I get you something? You blokes really not drink on duty.
A cup of tea would be fine, sir. Thank you.
Coming up. My alarm system's controlled from in here.
Well, I must say this all seems rather elaborate, Morse.
I've no real grounds for a warrant. If Steppings is innocent, I don't want to upset him any more than is necessary.
You don't want to upset him? We're not the Samaritans, Morse. A man's been murdered, and this Steppings a suspect.
I know that.
Sir, well, you were right about those numbers, sir. Even gave Constable Willis a demonstration. I've put him in the interview room. I've cautioned him, informed him of his right.
Well, I'd say you've got yourself a result there, Chief Inspector. So get yourself down there, matey, and give him hell.
Give him hell. Yes, sir. You had a visit today from a crime prevention officer, Mr. Steppings.
Yeah, I did. Mr. Morse, your sergeant says I'm being held in connection with the Brewster murder. I don't understand.
You have a safe, Mr. Steppings.
Yeah, came with the house.
And you changed the combination 6 months ago?
What's that got to do with anything?
Did you keep a note of the combination?
Of course. And a backup in case the original got lost.
Doesn't that rather defeat the purpose of a safe? I mean, having notes of the combination lying around the house.
Well, not really, sir. Mr. Steppings takes precautions. He writes down his combination on a sheet of paper and then tears it in half. Hides the pieces in different places. Isn't that right, Mr. Steppings?
Yeah. Look.
Is that your combination?
Yes, it is. Where the hell did you get this from?
Have you seen these before?
No.
You're lying. A forensic examination showed that one of these bore the combination to your safe. They were sent anonymously to Mathew Brewster.
All right. I sent him some letters. But you saw what they did to my girl, Mr. Morse. I had to get back at them some way. I tried the law, it didn't work. They walked away scot-free.
You threatened Mathew Brewster in court. You sent him anonymous letters threatening his life. And then Mathew Brewster was murdered. Possibly by someone who knew how to use diving equipment, as you do.
Wait a minute now. I didn't kill anyone, and I didn't threaten his life.
You are evil, and you will pay. I am going to kill you.
Kill you? I don't remember writing that. Not kill you.
You expect us to believe that when you lied about sending the letters in the first place?
Look, you don't understand. I get drunk, I'd sit and brood, I'd do one of these letters. What I'm saying is, I can't remember this. I didn't kill that man, Mr. Morse.
Chief Inspector Morse has some news.
We're holding Michael Steppings for questioning. He's admitted sending the letters to your husband.
And the murder?
Not yet. We only brought him in an hour ago.
Oh, and thank you for bringing us the news so quickly, Chief Inspector. Has he said anything?
What can he say? Well, he'll probably be making the same old accusations about his daughter, that's all.
Inspector?
Your son's right.
Of course I am. We have a great deal to thank you for, Chief Inspector.
Michael Steppings is being held for questioning, Mr. Brewster, that's all. If you'll excuse me, I'll continue to keep you informed.
Thank you.
worry yourself. Promise me.
I can't help it.
You must help it. There's nothing to fear from Michael Steppings. Nothing at all.
What the hell's wrong with you? Finding out what those numbers meant was a good piece of work.
It was a lucky guess. What would happen to her if we did put him away?
Ah, that's it, is it? The girl. That's got nothing to do with you, see. Anyway, we haven't even charged him yet. Never mind put him away.
No, you're right. But it's not just the girl. There's the whole question of why he ignored the other two people he threatened. Steppings isn't stupid, and yet we're to believe that he forewarned his victim by sending him anonymous letters. You can have a solicitor present, you know that.
Will a solicitor get me out of here?
No. On the evidence I have, I can hold you for 36 hours and then apply for an extension if necessary.
In the hope that I'll eventually confess?
Something like that.
I didn't kill him, Mr. Morse.
I'd like you to do something, Mr. Steppings. You said that at the time of the murder you were in a pub from just before 8 o'clock till after 9. Now, I can take you there to see if anyone remembers you, but only if you agree to go.
Oh, asking me to take a great chance. That pub was crowded.
You said a woman spoke to you.
Yeah, she asked me to shift my jacket so she could sit down. That's all. And then she said something about how busy the pub was. I told you this. Just now, I don't have an alibi. So what? I didn't do anything. If I go to that pub and they say, we haven't seen him here, it might look bad for me.
It looks bad either way. If you don't go, we might reasonably assume you're afraid to because you weren't there. You think about it, Mr. Steppings.
Chief Inspector, you don't like this, do you?
No.
Well, if it makes it any easier, I know it's the job. You could do something for me. Ever since Avril's been in hospital, I've never missed a day. I'd like to know that everything's all right.
Mr. and Mrs. Hart, this gentleman has told us that he came here last Tuesday evening, shortly before 8, and he stayed till just after 9. Can either of you remember seeing him in the pub?
I can't, no. But that doesn't mean he wasn't here. The pub gets pretty crowded that time of night.
I understand.
No. No, he was here.
You're sure, Mrs. Hart?
It was his clothes. His suit. Not that one, but one like it. Expensive looking, I mean. I remember thinking that when I served him.
Jesus. My suit.
You're sure about the time and the day?
I'm sorry. I only know it was recently.
Mr. Morse?
It's not enough.
But it had to be that night. I've never been in here before or since. Well, for God's sake, she recognized me. What more do you want?
Take it easy, Mr. Steppings.
Take it easy. I came here in good faith. Don't tell me to take it.
Michael Steppings?
Yes?
What is it, Mrs. Hart?
He's right. It was Tuesday night, though I'm still not sure about the time. You lost something.
No, I didn't lose anything.
Yes, you did. Your checkbook. A customer handed it in. A woman. She was sitting next to you and noticed it after you left. She said she went after you, but you drove off.
This woman saw Mr. Steppings leave?
Yes.
Where's the checkbook now, Mrs. Hart?
I kept it for a couple of days, thinking he'd come back for it. When he didn't, I posted it to his bank in Oxford.
Could still be in the post office.
Get on to it, Lewis.
Could I use your phone?
Yeah, I'll show you in the office.
Mrs. Hart, we'd like you to come with us to the station.
Why do you have to have the checkbook now? Can't you take a word for it? Wait till it turns up?
If the woman handed the book to Mrs. Hart, her fingerprints will be on it. They might help us to trace her. At the very least, they can confirm her identity if we find her.
But can't you tell me any more? I understand. Yes, thank you, Chief Inspector. But please let me know what happens.
Was that Morse?
Yes, I inquired about Steppings.
Has he confessed?
No. Morse mentioned some new development, but that was all.
He didn't say what?
No. But I expect we'll find out in due course.
These are the fingerprints on Steppings' checkbook. This is Steppings, which matches the sample we took ourselves. This is Mrs. Hart's and the one we took. These, we suspect, belong to our missing witness.
But what exactly do we know for certain, Morse?
That he was in the pub on Tuesday night. What we don't know is what time he left. Normally, Brewster arrived home around 8:40. Now, to be there in time to kill him, Steppings would have had to leave the pub at 8:20 at the latest.
Nothing from criminal records yet, sir.
Well, that settles it. You better try for a television then.
Cheer up. We might get lucky.
I don't know, Lewis. There'll be 1,000 reasons for her not to come forward. What if she's a married woman? She might not want her husband to know she spoke to a strange man in a pub.
She asked him to move his jacket.
And went on to say the pub was crowded.
It was. The landlord said so.
But that's not the point, is it? Her second comment was unnecessary, voluntary. She was out on her own, Lewis. Good God, do I have to spell it out?
Well, I am interested in hearing what you have to say on the matter, sir.
It was obviously a flirtation, Lewis. Innocent, I'm sure. But I doubt if her husband would see it that way.
The Oxford police are interested in hearing from anyone who visited this popular public house on the Wood-Eaton Road, north of Oxford, last Tuesday. You might have noticed this well-dressed man of stocky build with grey-brown hair.
We know the man was in the Black Swan last Tuesday night, and we know he lost an item of value when he was in there. This item was subsequently handed in to the landlady by a woman. We would very much like to speak to this woman and...
What's wrong?
What's wrong? What do you think is wrong? I don't like watching it. What a bloody stupid question.
Hang on. Don't take this out on me. It's just not fair.
Must be terrible for you, I can see that. But they've got this Steppings, haven't they? It'll be all over soon.
Shift looks a bit light, doesn't it? Now we've got take a couple from the alley.
Yeah, would you hold the line? Sarge, this one sounds promising. So, Miss Jeffries.
Hello, Miss Jeffries.
Morse. When? Yorkshire? No. Wait till I get there. We've had a call from a Miss Margaret Jeffries who lives in Harrogate. She saw the broadcast and claims to be the woman who spoke to you in the pub. Now, your photograph and the third fingerprint taken from your checkbook are being faxed to Harrogate CID. She's agreed to be interviewed in the morning.
You found it? What if she's some kind of nutter? A crank? I mean, you must get people like that all the time.
We get our fair share, but we have the fingerprint. We have that, Mr. Steppings.
Well, I must say, I never thought I'd see the day.
What's that, sir?
That I'd be trying to get a bookmaker out of jail. And why have I never met this Steppings? That's what I can't understand. I mean, normally these nouveau riche types are hammering on the door of society circles 5 minutes after they move down from London.
What, you mean you've never come across him down at the lodge, sir?
Not quite, Sergeant. What's so funny, Morse?
Nothing, sir. I was just reflecting on what Sergeant Lewis considers to be polite society in Oxfordshire.
I see. Well, you might reflect on this. What happens if Stepping's story is confirmed? Do we have another direction to go in?
No, sir. No, ever since Brewster's death was confirmed as murder, all the facts have pointed towards Steppings. We've had no reason to look elsewhere.
She just comes for this, sir.
At 8 o'clock this morning, 2 officers from Harrogate CID interviewed Margaret Jeffries at her home. She volunteered to be fingerprinted, and her prints matched those on your checkbook.
Can she say what time I left the pub?
No, she can't.
What? After all this?
Let me finish, Mr. Steppings. She can be certain about the time she went into the pub. She was listening to the 8:30 news as she drove into the car park.
What does that mean?
It means that at the time she sat down next to you, Mathew Brewster was arriving home to be met by his killer. You can leave here whenever you want.
Hello, Mr. Steppings. I can come back and do this later if you like.
Thank you. I'd appreciate that. Nurse? These flowers?
They arrived this morning. There was no card.
I'm sorry I've been away. I'm so sorry.
David! David! David, where are you?
Everything all right?
Yeah. There were some fresh flowers in Apple's room.
I hope you don't mind. I was passing a florist. I saw them and I sent them.
This is a nice place. You know, I've got 2 things in this world, Mr. Morse. I got Avril, and I got money. And I can never give you my girl, but maybe this.
Mr. Steppings.
Just put your name on it, it's yours. I got 10 times that amount last time I went. I won't miss it.
I was going to say that what I did, that's my job.
This is not for what you did. This is for the flowers. All the time my girl's been there, you're the first person to treat her as though she's still alive.
It's very generous of you, but I can't accept it.
You could go anywhere you like.
Yes, I could. But what would I do when I get there?
It's a pity you don't gamble, Mr. Morse. Cards should be your game. Mind you, if you ever do take it up, remind me not to sit in with you.
What will happen to Avro?
I'm not stupid, Mr. Morse. I know I can't keep her like that forever, but I can't let her go right now. When I was in that cell, I kept wondering what would happen to her if maybe I didn't get out. I cursed myself I haven't sent those letters, but I had to get back at them some way.
But why just Mathew Brewster? Why not his wife or the nurse, Hazlitt?
Well, I suppose the Brewsters could share his. As for the nurse, well, that would have been a dead giveaway, wouldn't it? I was never that drunk.
Why would the nurse cover up for him?
That's a good question, Mr. Morse. When we were preparing the court case, my QC hired a private detective to talk to other patients and have a look at the Brewsters. Anyway, this character comes back and says he thinks Mathew Brewster, Wendy Hazlitt, are having an affair. Brewster was a regular visitor to her flat, he says. If they were lovers, that would explain why she covered up for him, wouldn't it? That's my theory, anyway.
I don't know, it's a private detective. They tend to spice up their reports.
Yes, but if Brewster and the nurse were having an affair, this could be a crime of passion, couldn't it?
Well, if it was, can we stop at the nurse? Well, it was Claire Brewster. She might have found out about it.
She's an unlikely killer, Lewis, especially given the way it was done, tied and gagged. And then there's this theory about the aqualung. It's highly doubtful, given her condition.
Ah, Chief Inspector, do come in.
Thank you.
Would you mind coming through to the kitchen, please? You have some news.
Yes, I do. We've released Michael Steppings. He had an alibi.
I am relieved it's not Steppings. Coffee? So, what will you do now?
That depends on the outcome of this conversation.
I don't understand.
Dr. Brewster, it's been suggested to us that your husband may have had an affair with Wendy Hazlitt. I have to know if that's true if I am to conduct this inquiry effectively. Can you tell me if that's true?
Yes, Chief Inspector, it was true. Well, Wendy is a young, attractive woman. And sometimes when a husband and wife work and live together, they can become a little tired of each other's company.
Were they still seeing each other prior to your husband's death?
No, they were not.
When did the affair end?
About 2 years ago, when Wendy left the clinic.
Were there recriminations?
I understand Wendy had some idea of a future for herself with Mathew, yes. And when he chose to end the affair, she had difficulty accepting his decision. But what has this to do with Mathew's death?
Perhaps nothing. I'm sorry I had to ask.
Oh, you needn't be, Chief Inspector. As I said, it was over a long time ago. Of course.
Sergeant Lewis?
That's right.
I'm Wendy Hazlitt. You asked to see me?
Yeah. Is there somewhere we could talk?
Yes, why don't we go outside?
Miss Hazlitt, you and Mathew Brewster, your relationship was more than just professional.
Yes. Yes, it was.
Ah. Can you tell me where you were on the night he was murdered?
I obviously remember quite well, Sergeant. I was at home finishing a painting.
Can anybody verify that?
Nope. I was alone all evening. Surely you don't suspect me.
In a murder inquiry, Miss Hazlitt, we have to question anybody close to the victim.
But why should I kill him? Mathew and I were planning to marry. Oh, yeah. He was going to leave his wife for me. Now the clinic was a success financially, he could afford to take care of Claire and marry me. It's what we'd always dreamed of.
Can you prove that, Miss Hazlitt?
I'm not sure. I know that Mathew told his son John of our plans, and that his mother would need a great deal of help and support, and that he'd have to provide that for her. But as to whether or not John would confirm it, I'm not sure. Not if he thought it was going to help me.
Married? I've just spoken to Mrs. Brewster. She said the affair ended 2 years ago. Do you believe her, this nurse?
She claimed Mathew Brewster told someone else about their intentions. His son, John. So, couldn't it have been the son? I mean, when you think about it, it would make sense. We know there was no love lost between them. John Brewster watches his parents breaking their backs to make that clinic a success. Probably destroyed his mother's health. Then the old man says he's going to dump her and take off with another woman. His mother's dying, sir. John's hardly likely to be overjoyed, is he? So, he kills him. Tries to make it look like suicide, botches the job. And then he remembers Michael Steppings.
Steppings' letters?
Would explain why he took his time bringing them to us, sir. He was thinking it all through.
He may have been doing more than thinking it through, Liz. Now, Steppings said that he couldn't remember making any specific death threat. If you're right about John Brewster, that he's been trying to frame Steppings, then isn't it just possible that Steppings didn't make this threat?
As I told you before, the newsprint came from several different sources and would tell us nothing, but this time I looked at the adhesive. The same stuff was used throughout except for this one phrase, "I'm going to kill you." As you can see, that is most certainly different from the rest.
You want to pick him up?
On what charge?
We could try for conspiracy, see where it takes us.
It would be Brewster's word against Steppings. Steppings is on record as saying he can't remember making the threats. He didn't actually deny it.
Yeah, there's the glue. We could try and make that stick. Couldn't we?
Lewis.
There must be something we can do.
We need a fact, Lewis, nothing less.
We haven't really looked into this aqualung theory yet, have we?
There can't be many places in Oxford selling diving equipment, can there?
No, sir. There might be a record of sale somewhere. Another blank, sir.
What did he say?
Oh, he sells diving equipment, all right, but not off the shelf. It's not the demand. If you want it, you have to order it. There's no record of Bruce having ordered anything.
Nowhere else, is there?
Not in Oxford, sir. That bloke did mention one possibility. But Brewster would have to be stupid, sir. It's way too obvious.
What can I do for you, gentlemen?
Chief Inspector Morse, this is Sergeant Lewis. Did you have a membership list?
Yes, we do.
Could we have a look at it?
Yeah, of course. This is the present list. It's in alphabetical order.
Nothington.
Well, as you said, he's not that stupid. I'm sorry to trouble you.
No trouble.
Lewis?
This J. Foley. That isn't Jane Foley, is it?
Jane, yeah.
Do all the members have lockers?
Yes.
And the keys?
Well, I've got one set, they've got another.
I got him, sir.
Mr. Brewster?
Thank you.
Chief Inspector, what brings you here?
Your father was murdered, Mr. Brewster. Why should a visit from the police seem so odd?
You're right. It shouldn't, I suppose. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I was trying to read before you came in. Couldn't. Did you ever find that, Chief Inspector? You're reading and your mind's trying to take it in.
Mr. Brewster.
This afternoon, we found out that Jane Foley is a member of the University Sub-Aqua Club.
You told me you didn't know anyone who was interested in diving.
Did I? I must have forgotten. That's all.
Why did you wait so long before bringing us the letters, Mr. Brewster?
Look, Chief Inspector, I told you with the
We
death of my
think
father.
one of the letters was altered.
How altered?
A phrase was added, a specific death threat against your father. Now, Michael Steppings couldn't remember doing it. I think you did.
Nonsense. You can't prove that.
Your father told you he intended to leave your mother, didn't he?
What?
He and Wendy Hazlitt planned to marry.
Chief Inspector, I hear everything you're saying, but I can't believe you're saying it.
Detective Sergeant Lewis entered the room at 2202.
It's all there, sir.
What is it? What is that, Morse?
It's a forensic report on a roll of tape we found in Jane Foley's locker at the Sub-Aqua Club. It says, categorically says, that the piece of tape used to gag your father was the last piece torn from the roll. They've even sent a photograph showing how they match. Would you like to see it? Now, are we to believe that Jane Foley is the killer, Mr. Brewster?
No. I'm the one you want. I killed him. He was going to leave my mother after all she'd done for him.
I should remind you that this interview is being taped.
I wish to make a full statement. I'd like you to give this news to my mother. And for the love of God, get Mark Felsham there when you do. Please.
I can't understand his reluctance to tell us more about it. Can you?
You know what policemen are like. Everything by the book?
You're right.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming, Doctor.
Quite frankly, I'd rather be a million miles away. You're sure about this?
John Brewster's confessed. Right now, he's making a full statement.
Chief Inspector.
Good evening, Mrs. Brewster.
Claire. Chief Inspector Morse has some bad news. Very bad news.
Then perhaps I'd better hear it.
Earlier today, I took your son into custody. This evening, he admitted killing his father.
That's ridiculous. John killed his father. I have never heard such rubbish. Why would he tell me that? Why would he?
Your husband told him that he was about to leave you and that he was going to marry Wendy Hazlitt.
That is vile rubbish. Mathew left that slut 2 years ago, he told me. He said he'd made a mistake and begged for my forgiveness.
Please.
No, I won't have it. I won't listen to this. I want to see my son.
That's not wise.
May I see him? May I speak to my son? Wait for me.
Can she survive, Doctor?
She's had a massive heart attack, Chief Inspector. The odds are not good.
Mark, what the hell's going on? Why wasn't I called earlier?
This is Chief Inspector Morse. Chief Inspector, this is Thomas Neely, the Brewsters' solicitor. Under the circumstances, I thought it best to call him.
Why wasn't I told about this?
Your client was informed of his rights, Mr. Neely. He didn't ask for a solicitor.
Oh, I see. He just sat there and confessed to murder,
Yes. I intend listening to his confession in the morning. You're welcome to be there, say 10 o'clock.
In the meantime, I'd like to speak to my client, if you don't mind.
Why should I mind?
Morning.
Morning. You've got it back.
A blocked fuel line, they say. Come on. I was going to give it a trial run.
No, thank you. I thought you should know that we've arrested someone for Mathew Brewster's murder.
Who?
His son, John.
You're joking. Why should a son want to kill his father?
Because he didn't like the idea of his father taking off with another woman.
The nurse?
Yes.
I don't expect you'll agree, Mr. Morse, but I can't help seeing it as some kind of justice for Avril.
I can't see it that way, no, but if I'm wrong, Mrs. Brewster hasn't escaped her measure of divine judgment.
How's that, Mr. Morse?
She collapsed when we told her about her son.
She'll be all right, though.
Her chances aren't very good.
On the night of the murder, Mr. Brewster, can you tell me what happened?
I parked the car out of sight near the house. I'd taken Jane's aqualung from the club and some rope and tape from the boot of my car. I walked back to the garage and waited. I had a gun. When my father drove into the garage, I got in behind him and tied him into the car seat.
There's a lot more to come to.
I want to hear something again.
I walked back to the garage and waited. I had a gun. When my father drove into the garage, I got in behind him and...
What is it, Morse? Something wrong?
I want to talk to him again, and I'd like you there, Mr. Neely. Your solicitor has objected to your treatment here, Mr. Brewster. He wants you to go over your statement again. You freely admit to killing your father.
Yes.
You waited until he drove into the garage, got in behind him.
Yes. How many more times do I have to say it?
When you say you waited in the garage, do you mean you were hiding there?
Yes.
But how could you have known that your father would drive into the garage? Your mother said that if he intended leaving early in the morning, he often parked in the drive. I just don't know how
I
you could...
waved him in. That was it. I waved him in. I remembered when I was hiding in the garage that he might not come in, so I waved him in.
You waved him in. Satisfied, Mr. Neely?
Yes. Chief Inspector, what the hell was that all about?
Would you agree that your client just lied to me?
Is he mad? You don't expect me to answer that, do you?
Why would a man admit to murder and then lie about how he did it?
Unless he didn't do it.
All right. I think he lied. But you have evidence, Morse. The diving gear, the tape, a damn confession.
I have everything but the truth.
Chief Inspector, what's wrong?
I have John Brewster in custody. He says he killed his father.
It's incredible. I can't believe it.
You may be right not to, Miss Foley. Why don't you get in and I can give you the details?
Jane. What's going on? What is this? How did you get in here?
Mr. Neely got me in. We've come to get you out. I don't understand it. They say you confessed. Why? Did they threaten you?
Threaten me? No, nobody's threatened me.
Look, John, sit down and shut up. Jane's got something to say.
Morse is saying you used my aqualung. If you had, you'd be dead. The bloody thing's not working. The valve's jammed and won't let air through.
And what's more, we can prove it.
I asked the instructor to get it repaired 2 weeks ago. He never got round to it.
I'll have you out of here in 5 minutes.
No. No. You mustn't do that. They mustn't know. Don't you see? They have to believe...
What do we have to believe, Mr. Brewster? That you killed your father? Not anymore, we don't.
You lied.
I was trying to help.
You've no idea. You don't know what you've done.
So, if it wasn't Steppings, and it wasn't the son, doesn't it have to be the missus? Why else would John Brewster have confessed, if not to protect his mother?
It's difficult to arrive at any other conclusion. You see, I ruled her out simply because I thought she was physically incapable of killing anyone.
This way, Sergeant.
We had to let John Brewster go.
I know. You phoned to ask about Claire. Coffee?
Yeah, his confession was a lie. We think he was trying to protect his mother. Would she have been up to it, sir? Physically, I mean.
Perhaps I'd better show you her records, Sergeant. I've looked after Claire for 5 years. I'd hardly describe her as a robust human being. Yeah.
I see what you mean. This date here, sir, the 10th of June, 1989. Does that mean she was in here that day?
Yes, and overnight. Why? I've kept her in on a number of occasions.
I'm just in the studio, Chief Inspector.
I'll be as brief as I can. I don't want to keep you from your work.
No, I was just finishing anyway.
These are very good.
Thank you. You're not in the market by any chance, are you?
Oh, I might be. Are they for sale?
Yes, through a small gallery I use. I could let you have a card before you go. Right. Now.
There's just one question, Miss Hazlitt. Is it possible that Claire Brewster knew that her husband was about to leave her?
I don't think so. I know Matthew was very worried about how she might take the news. He certainly wasn't eager to tell her.
I see.
Is that it?
Yes, that's it.
Right, I'll let you have that card. That one's not for sale, Chief Inspector.
Oh?
No, it's a private commission. The setting's somewhere in Wales. Do you like it?
Very much.
Well, there's my card. The gallery's not very far out of town.
Thank you. I look forward to going.
Chief Inspector, one thing. Your question. Why don't you ask Claire?
I'm afraid I can't. Claire Brewster is critically ill in hospital. Well, I'll leave you in peace. Where the hell have you been?
Brewster's clinic, sir. Something I wanted to check.
Have you come up with something?
Yeah. But whether it's relevant or not, I don't know. This morning I went down to the Radcliffe Infirmary. Mark Felsham showed me Claire Brewster's medical file. According to the file, she was in the Radcliffe for treatment on June the 10th, 1989, right? Now, yeah. In the trial transcript, the Brewster's QC quotes 3 successful operations, similar to Avril Steppings, as proof of the Brewster's competence. Even gave the dates. One of those operations took place on June the 10th, 1989.
So what did you find out at the clinic?
Claire Brewster signed as the anaesthetist that day. So I checked against all the dates given in Felsham's medical records, found 2 other examples of her being in 2 places at the one time. If nothing else, it proves Michael Steppings was right. That was one dodgy clinic. The proof was right here in the trial transcript all the time. If you compare it to the clinic's records, I mean.
But you'd have to be told what was in the transcript, wouldn't you? And know what to compare it with.
Yeah, obviously.
You said that Steppings had asked for a transcript. When was that?
Don't know, sir. I could soon find out, though.
Yes, do that, would you, Liz?
Oh, hello. You have a patient there, Claire Brewster. I'd just like to know how she is. No, a friend, close friend. I see. No. Thank you very much.
Michael Steppings asked for the transcript 9 months ago. That's more than a year after the trial. Why? It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't it? It was shortly after Wendy Hazlitt started work at Burnley Green. And what if she told him where to look?
The transcript itself isn't enough.
Was that break-in at the clinic, Lewis? What was it you said? Some filing cabinets were damaged. Now, when was that?
8 months ago.
Hazlitt starts work at Burnley Green, and then suddenly Michael Steppings wants a transcript of the Brewster trial. He gets one, and there follows a break-in at the clinic. There's nothing taken. No drugs, no equipment. The intruder contents himself with rummaging through some files.
It has to be coincidence. Hazlitt and Steppings, he threatened her. Tried to have her sacked. Oh, they were enemies.
I was at her home, Lewis. I saw a painting. It was by her. It was recent. And for my money, it was of the view from Steppings' window. Now, how was it done if they're such enemies?
But he had an alibi. The man had an alibi. He's saying the witness lied.
Why not? All I know is that if I'm right about that painting, and I think I am, then she's lied to me. Not only about the painting, but about how well she knew Steppings.
Chief Inspector? These prints, they're identical. Margaret Jeffries and Wendy Hazlitt are one and the same person.
Miss Wendy Hazlitt?
Yes.
We'd like you to come with us, Miss Hazlitt.
Look, I'm afraid I can't. I'm going away.
No, you're not.
Check it on that one.
It's gone, Ted.
Left in a hurry by the look of it.
Call the hospital, ask if he's been there. If he hasn't, then he's not gone. And I want that hospital watched at all times.
Right.
Let me be clear about this, Miss Hazlitt. You were an unqualified person, and yet you were acting as an anaesthetist at the Brewster Clinic.
When Claire became ill, she had to cut her workload. They couldn't afford a qualified replacement, so Mathew asked me if I would help out. He knew I wouldn't refuse. I was to handle only minor cases when Claire wasn't feeling up to it or had to go into the Radcliffe. And it worked. Until Avril Steppings came in. I didn't give her enough anesthetic. When Mathew started to cut, she went into cardiac arrest. I panicked, froze.
Where was Claire Brewster?
Lying down in her office. By the time she got to theatre, the damage had been done.
You told the court you followed the proper procedure.
Yes. And after all that, when I'd helped him, I'd risked imprisonment, ruined the young girl's life, Mathew Brewster rejected me. I suddenly saw him for what he was. He was just an old man wanting a bit on the side. So I decided he was going to pay for that.
You didn't have the stomach for it yourself, so you went to Michael Steppings. Is that why you took the job at Burnley Green?
Well, I had to judge the strength of his feeling. He'd made threats in court, but anyone can make threats. That first time he saw me by Avril's bedside, I knew what he was capable of. So I told him the truth. Look, he understood that it hadn't been my fault, that I'd been used.
And the alibi?
6 months ago, Steppings gave me the money to buy a house in Harrogate. I gave my name as Margaret Jeffries.
What happened in the pub?
When I arrived, Steppings had already left. I waited a while, then gave the barmaid the checkbook.
You said that Brewster ended the affair, but you told Sergeant Lewis that you and Brewster intended to get married.
Well, that was a lie, of course.
But John Brewster confirmed it.
John Brewster knew what was going on at the clinic. On the night of the killing, Steppings called John. He said he had proof of malpractice. Now, Steppings said that he knew the Brewsters couldn't be retried for Avril, but there were other cases. There would be fresh trials. And all that would mean for Claire. If John wanted to help his mother, he was to go to Steppings' house and wait there till 9:30. If Steppings hadn't arrived by then, he had to come back the following day. Well, Steppings didn't show.
He was in the garage killing Brewster.
Yes. But he'd got John out of the way, ensuring that he had no alibi. The next day, Steppings actually told John what he'd done. He pointed out John's options. If he went to the police, Steppings would publish his evidence of malpractice. If he didn't, John had to ask himself the question, could his mother survive another trial, possible imprisonment? He must have thought not. He agreed to admit to the murder in exchange for Steppings withholding his evidence.
But it was always possible that John's confession would finish his mother off, and then he'd be free to tell the truth.
What would that truth be, Lewis? That Michael Steppings was the killer? As far as we were concerned, Brewster had already tried to frame Steppings. And what of Miss Hazlitt? Why should we suppose that she'd lie for Michael Steppings? They were mortal enemies, weren't they? And then there was Steppings' alibi. Now, how could John Brewster possibly account for that when they managed to fool us? By the time we'd taken Brewster seriously, Hazlitt and Steppings would be... Where, Miss Hazlitt?
Anywhere I wanted to go. Steppings promised to take care of me after John Brewster had been put in prison.
Take care of you. Something tells me that's exactly what he would have done.
Nothing from the hospital, sir. Must be out of the country by now.
Just can't believe that he'd abandoned his daughter.
Been almost 16 hours.
What about his car? Someone must have seen it. It's hardly inconspicuous.
Yeah, Lewis. Right, thanks. Claire Brewster, sir. Died at 6 this morning.
His mother's been dead for 2 hours, Lewis. Brewster's free to tell the truth, yet he hasn't contacted us. Why?
You're right, sir. He didn't abandon her.
Sir, I found this with his bags.
Dear Mr. Morse, when you get this, I'll be long gone. I always knew I'd have to take off, only not so soon. I don't know what you found out, so here's something for you. Hazlitt was my alibi. I didn't like deceiving you. I really didn't. And don't worry about Avril. My ex-wife will take care of her.
Steppings said he had deliberately marked the anonymous letters. He said if the police were halfway clever, they'd trace the letters to him. I was to say the letters had been sent to my father. The tape I was to put in Jane's locker.
How did he find out Jane was a member of the Sub-Aqua Club?
Through me. He'd watched the family for months. Jane's hobby had been a real find, he said. It had helped him decide on how he'd kill my father. He stayed in the garage the whole time, you know. Poetic justice, he called it. My father had stood and watched his daughter. Now he could do the same. And just as his daughter was alive, but not alive, so Mother would spend her remaining time with me in prison.
Why did you kill him?
I didn't intend to kill him. When I got to his house, he was about to leave. I pleaded with him. I'd kept my part of the bargain. I couldn't help it if it hadn't worked out. He wouldn't listen. He said if Mother recovered, it would be to find her name in all the papers. I tried to prevent him from leaving. There was a wrench lying on the... and I hit him. He was monstrous, Chief Inspector. Monstrous.
Was he, Mr. Brewster? Your parents and Nurse Hazlitt ruined his daughter's life. And for no other reason than to save money. You knew that, and you stood by them. If Michael Steppings was monstrous, Mr. Brewster, he was made monstrous.
Can I help you?
I've come to see Avril Steppings.
Are you a relative?
No, nothing like that. Her father and I were friends for a while. That's all.
Well, I'm afraid Avril's no longer with us. Her mother arrived and asked us to take her off the life support system.
I see.
I'm so very sorry.
What's wrong?
He's not there anymore, Lewis.
Ah. Seems a shame to waste them, sir. Red roses, about the most expensive flowers around.
Not really. I sent her some flowers once before. They had a much higher price tag.